Riverside.
And we are back. Hello. Welcome back for another week of the 4th&1 podcast, live from Lancaster, Lidditz, and somewhere over the rainbow, Pennsylvania. It is your boy, Admiral You Like That, a.k.a. self-nickname, a.k.a. the snack that smiles back. Joined,
Goldfish.
as always, with... Thank you. I don't know what you said, but thank you. Joined,
I said
as
goldfish.
yeah.
Goldfish.
Nice. You nailed it. Joined with, always, of course, the one who was talking, Captain Boring.
Hello.
Apparently, if the Penn State whiteout game was a person, it would be Micaiah. And
Okay. We are not starting with this already.
And, of course, the other guy laughing. He's the ginger with a soul. It's Roberto, not CFB. Insider. You didn't say P, Micaiah. You were failing at your job. It was a week of sports. Lots of sports happened. All of the sports happens. Lots of upsets. Some not upsets. Who was it that just lost to Georgia Tech that can't kneel the football?
That would be Miami.
That'd be Miami. Yeah. So Miami is Miami. Jimbo Fisher is on track to get fired after this week. So we're all very excited about some of our predictions. And let's go ahead and we'll get started in the Big Ten with Ohio State. Micaiah.
So for a tough football team, a self-proclaimed tough football team, they were so tough that they ran to a tune of 62 yards. Now, it did not matter because they ended up winning the game, and Kyle McCord's coming into his own a little bit with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Ibuka. But you can only run for 62 yards. That's not a tough football team. That's a finesse football team that wants to act tough.
Go ahead.
Even though they only rushed for 62 yards, they still threw for 320.
Yeah.
So if you can't stop the run, you can stop the run, but you can't stop the pass. I mean, that's an issue. Michigan can stop the run. Can we stop the pass, though?
Yeah, but Talia also had 2 turnovers in that third quarter.
Yeah.
One in his own territory, just throw it away, second down, live to fight another down. So that's what it's going to have to be. Again, it was tied at 17 midway through the third quarter before Talia threw those 2 interceptions, and then Ohio State kind of took off from there. But no, you're absolutely right. That's going to be the big thing. You can stop the run, but are you going to be able to stop Kyle McCord, who's getting hot now, and Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Well, okay, let's not go that far. He looked good. He didn't look that good. I actually watched football this weekend.
I said he's starting to get warm. He's starting to percolate. That's all he's doing. He's not boiling.
I didn't know that a white man. No. Sorry, I forgot that was the beginning. Sorry, I didn't know they went to high school together. Marvin Harrison Jr. and
yes,
Kyle.
They
McCord.
did.
St. Joe's prep.
St. Joe's.
So,
I didn't know Marvin Harrison was from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, his dad. I think his dad's from Pennsylvania.
As well as Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
Oh, well,
Played in the same class.
wow. Did that football team lose a game?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's impressive.
But they played the national schedule.
Oh, they played the national schedule. Well,
I think they played IMG and they lost like IMG or something like that.
oh well.
Oh, so
IMG,
they went like 11-1 or 9-1, whatever, however many games.
Kinda. I mean, they mop up in Pennsylvania, but
yeah.
When you
Once
play
they get
like
out of Pennsylvania.
actual small college schools.
Yeah. Professional high school schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
IMG is literally a talent agency created a high school. So yeah,
The birthplace of NIL.
The birthplace of NIL.
You're probably not wrong.
Yeah,
We'll
you're
talk
really
about that.
not.
We'll probably talk about that if we have time a little bit later. Going down south, the one game that I think we all watched for sure. You guys had multicast. I didn't, and it's because I'm broke.
Lame.
But because I'm poor.
What do you mean? You got YouTube TV, so I don't understand.
But I stream it. I don't have the little thing. You need the actual clicker in order to do a multi-view.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do.
So, womp womp.
Well, or you could just download the app on your smart TV and do it that way.
That's what I was looking for. You know, that would be smart. I should do that.
Yeah, you should have done.
Sometimes,
Obviously, that's what I do.
sometimes I don't think things through. Okay, Oklahoma beating who everybody thought was going to be back in Texas. I didn't watch as much of this game as I would have liked. I mean, of course it was on, but so was the Michigan game. So, Micaiah, I'm guessing you watched this game?
Of course I watched the Red River rivalry. Oklahoma really impressed me with their defense, especially. However, Quinn Ewers had just 3 really dumb turnovers, and that kind of what swung the game. The teams were even in almost every statistical category. It was just Quinn Ewers turning the ball over 3 times. But Oklahoma and Dylan Gabriel, that final drive, would they go 75 yards in a minute and 2 seconds? Very impressive. There's no back down. There's no fight. And Brent Venables finally, after last year's horrific Oklahoma defense, got some players in there that actually want to play defense, and so they're starting to play some good defense. I don't know that they're good enough to make the college football playoff. I don't even know if they're good enough to beat Texas again. I think they're ranked a little high. They're at 5 in the AP poll. That's way too high for me. But you beat Texas, and so now you're sitting on top of the Big 12. So that's something to be said, and you're in that mix now.
Before we go over to Robert, you bring up a very valid point, because the team I watch could win the national championship, but is that the team we're going to get for the rest of the year? That's my question.
In Oklahoma, you mean?
In Oklahoma, yeah. No, of course, Texas is dead now at this point.
Well, I mean, for now, until the end of the year, until they can win a Big 12 title, if so.
If they can win a Big 12 title.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're going to have to see if Oklahoma's good enough to compete consistently, even with the smaller teams. Like, where are their trap games? Because something's coming. They still got to go to Oklahoma State in Bedlam.
That should be a fun game. Of course, our Michigan Wolverines covered for the second time this year. 56-10 made PJ Fleck's kids look like a high school team, which was quite surprising to me, but I was happy to watch a good majority of that game. Robert, what do you think?
That was probably the first, in my opinion, complete game that Michigan put on the field. The offense finally looked like a Michigan offense. The defense looked good. And I think that performance, if Michigan can keep a performance like that going, I mean, that's a hard Michigan team to stop right there.
That's what I thought as well.
They covering against Indiana this weekend?
No.
It's a lot
of
points.
What
it's
is
like
it? It's
33
17?
and a half. I think it's like 33 and a half.
I don't even think I took that in our pick leagues.
Well, Indiana can't score, though. Like, Michigan's problem right now is that they're not, all the quarterbacks that they're playing on their schedule just cannot throw the football consistently, and they just panic at the first sight of pressure and then just melt. So what's it going to be when Drew Aller or Kyle McCord step in there, or Talia up against that secondary? Then what happens?
I mean, we'll find out. That's what happens. I mean, I think it's a good thing that we play. When do we play Penn State? Wow. I think I know our schedule.
4 weeks.
Yeah, like
when do we play
second
Maryland?
second week of
After Penn State.
Shoot. Okay.
And then
Right
we play
before
Ohio State.
Yeah. Oh, so those are our last 3 games?
Yeah. Literally the 3 best teams in the Big Ten other than Michigan we get all in a row.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. Well, the good news is, you know, if we get past 1, we can probably get past the other 2. I say that as I knock on wood. But who knows? We're Michigan fans. Talking about dominating, the game that I thought was going to be a game, I was actually excited for, the night game, Georgia-Kentucky, turned out to be not that at all. Not that at all. When did they... I was flipping through stuff. I was doing other things on Saturday. When did they officially walk that game away? Because it was close for what, like the first 5 minutes?
I mean, after the first quarter,
Yeah.
Georgia was up 14-0 at the end of the first, and
It wasn't even that close.
I turned it off at that point because you could just see Kentucky was so overmatched, and Georgia finally was here to play.
Yeah. Robert, you hit the nail right on the head. Everyone go listen to last week's episode because Robert said this is a Georgia team that's sleepwalking through. This is when they kind of wake up. And everyone's saying they're sleepwalking, and this is when they wake up and they show that they're the two-time defending national champions, and they did.
So there's two comedy sketch people who do the SEC recap for the week. I forget exactly what the guy's name is, like Matt Mitchell or something like that.
Yeah. The
Anyway,
SEC roll call guy?
Yeah, the SEC roll call. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think he said this week that we looked good. Kentucky, the character, said we looked good until we ran into Brock Bowers. So, all things considered, I think that's pretty fair.
Brock Bowers for Heisman, man. I'm jumping on it. I'm on that bandwagon. I'm staying on that bandwagon until he makes it all the way to New York, baby.
So
and if he doesn't make it there, when he gets drafted first round, I'm still on the Brock Bowers for Heisman.
That's my question. The last good tight end that we all loved and thought was going to do good was Kyle Pitts. Being a fantasy owner, not good at all in the league. With how much we love tight ends now in this new NFL, whatever this is, do you think he is a top 5 pick? I think from a talent perspective, I think his numbers prove that. But do you think he's actually going to get taken within the top 5 or even possible the top 3?
No, they value quarterbacks. It's a quarterback-heavy draft, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably going to go top 5, and then
left tackle,
and then you got your left tackles that always go top 5.
Shanu from Penn State will go.
Yeah, I mean he'll go. He is worth a top 5 pick, as you said, because not only his catching ability and his speed, his blocking ability. Like, he's Gronk, basically. He can block, he can run, he can catch.
He's tall, he's big,
yeah.
He's good looking.
He's from California. He comes with wine, so it's all good.
Everything I'm not, you know.
Yeah. Hey,
Basically.
But you know what you are? You know what you're the epitome of, Robert?
What's that?
Big Ten football.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there we go.
There was some Big Ten football this weekend, that's for sure. Speaking of people who do not play Big Ten football, Micaiah, you have on here that LSU has no defense. That was your takeaway from that game?
Yeah, I'm just kind of really still shocked that Brian Kelly has 0 defense. And that was
your takeaway. Not the giant bleed that Missouri blew, like the 14-point lead that Missouri blew.
Well, but that's Missouri. Like, who's shocked that Missouri ended up losing this game? Raise your hand. Okay, well, you're the only person, so 2 out of 3 weren't, so you lose there. 66% of this podcast was not surprised.
Dear Lord, stop repeating. Okay, thank you.
I'll allow it.
Continue.
So, but it's Missouri. Like, Robert, even when they were up, 20-6, were you still like, LSU's still going to win this football game?
I wasn't sitting there saying that they're still going to win. It was more, that's not enough points to keep LSU away.
Yeah.
Because essentially this is the SEC version of USC.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Except the defense might actually be worse, if that's possible.
It would be, I would like to see just statistical categories to see which one's actually worse, but you're right. USC has a tackling problem. LSU's scheme just sucks. I mean, there's wide open people all over the field. This, on the broadcast, they said that this is the second best LSU offense ever behind Joe Burrow, and their defense just can't keep people from scoring, and that's their only problem this year.
411 passing yards.
Yeah.
That's bad. Like, bad.
That's how many they allowed or how many they threw?
That's how many they allowed.
And how many rushing yards did they allow?
Let's see.
This is a good podcasting, everybody.
Yeah, why me and Robert looked up
how many
statistics.
did you say? 150?
116.
116. Okay, so well, at least they're a little stouter against the run, I guess you could say. But that's just off. I mean, look, I'm going to look up USC, what USC's defense did Saturday night against Arizona, and it can't be much better.
I have them up. I'll look.
All right, go ahead.
That way we're not all looking at the exact same time. I'm not surprised that Brian Kelly doesn't have an offense. Here's my question. Who's doing better in their second year? Brian Kelly, and I know the answer. It's a loaded question. Brian Kelly or Brent Venables?
Venable.
I would say Venables just because that defense was so bad. I mean, under Lincoln it was bad. First year it was bad, and now it's so much better.
And speaking of not having on the bingo card, if you did, were you expecting this to be kind of flip-flopped where Oklahoma looks like they could actually beat an SEC team and LSU is not in contention for the SEC title? I mean, I think technically they are, but
I mean, I'm absolutely surprised because I had Oklahoma going 7-5. Granted, could still happen with the major collapse, and I had LSU at 11-1, making the title game and beating Georgia in the championship game. So absolutely, like, it comes as a shock to me that this is the Oklahoma team and the LSU team that we're getting.
sorry. Okay, so I've got the there was a video that just randomly started playing on my thing.
By the way, USC got outgained on Saturday night by Arizona 506 to 365. They gave up 506. They allowed 303 yards passing and 203 yards rushing. So I still think USC's defense is. I'm
Are you
looking
looking
at
it
it.
backwards?
Yeah, I'm positive.
I mean, all my stuff isn't loading, so it wouldn't surprise me.
yeah, no,
but, like,
I'm
I'm just-
positive.
Positive.
USC got outplayed, but yet won that game. They won a game that they should have lost. Every
Well,
college
there's your-
football team wins a
They
game that
somehow
they should have lost.
Arizona had 12 penalties for 99 yards. That's
And that's pretty much what'll do it, right?
That's probably what lost them the game, to be quite honest with you, yeah.
Well, that and Caleb Williams, but
Well, speaking of LA, which we haven't been, these are just failed attempts to transfer in between topics, which is called something that my brain isn't letting me talk
Transition?
about right now. Thank you. Hey, there it is. Thanks. we got there. I've had a rough day. UCLA decided to finally show up and play some college football, huh? They played Washington State this weekend, right?
they did, and they beat
Yeah, okay.
them.
Yeah.
Washington State had like 6 turnovers, I think. UCLA, I think it should be noted, the brand of football that they play, and I think UCLA is now up to like 15 in the rankings. In the AP poll, they went from unranked. Washington State had 4 turnovers, 2 fumbles lost, 2 interceptions thrown. Dante Moore for UCLA did throw 2 interceptions, but they outgained Washington State 470 to 216. They held Washington State to 0.6 yards rushing, 12 yards total, and then they ran, UCLA did, for 180 yards. So they play they play Big Ten football. They want to run the ball 40-plus times a game and then play great defense. So UCLA might be in better shape to join the Big Ten than USC is right now. Is that a hot take?
No.
Not
think
really,
that's-
because I mean, USC. The only thing that makes them ready is the fact that they have the money and the academics, because they don't play defense, and their offense isn't very Big Ten. So it's not really. It's you could see the writing on the wall that they're not like. It shouldn't be a surprise that UCLA, who historically isn't like an air raid team, they are a running team more often than what USC is.
I had them going 8-4 on the year. Again, still could happen. Would take a look. I mean, right now they are currently 4-1. So, I mean, theoretically, yeah, it could still happen, but it would be a kind of a little bit of a collapse. But I just enjoy their brand of football. You don't often see a Pac-12 team smash mouth running it down your throat and then playing defense.
So, UCLA is ranked 18th now. Washington State ranked 19th. They only dropped 1, so that means that they're right in front of them. They're somehow tied with Tennessee for 19th, technically, so that takes up the 19th and the 20th spot. I think what's interesting here the most, because, is we have a 6-0 USC team at 10th, but more specifically, number 14, no one had this on their bingo card, a number 14 Louisville team at 6-0 who beat a Notre Dame team. My question is, and my guess is you're going to tell me why aren't they ranked higher? Micaiah.
Because
your notes.
Because it's still Louisville. Like, I mean, Louisville. I think people. No, there's no confidence that they can keep this up, right? Like, this is last year's TCU squad, as Reese Davis said. I don't even have what I had them going, but it definitely wasn't any better than probably 6-6. Like, I maybe had them on the fringe of bowl game. It was very impressive. I mean, Notre Dame really can't keep Sam Hartman upright, which is why they won the game. But Louisville has just been in, let's see here, Georgia Tech, 1-score game. Murray State, okay, they blew them out. Indiana, bad football team, 1-score game. They blew out Boston College. Then NC State was a 3-point game, and now they get a Jeff Brom's signature October at-home win against a top 10 school. But I just still think that people think they're a little phony, as do I.
Robert, what did you see? Thank you.
So the big thing I think with Louisville is, so their big win was against Notre Dame. Granted, that is a big win. But the past 3 weeks for Notre Dame has been absolutely horrible. You lose to Ohio State because you can't get the correct number of men on the field. You beat Duke by a touchdown when you should have lost to them. And then you get Louisville at home, and you just get mopped up and down the field. Notre Dame's offense is absolutely nowhere to be found, and you pretty much could almost score on Notre Dame if you have a pulse. So it's what I just think it's like, yeah, okay, they're up there. You know, they go and they play a couple teams. Their strength of schedule, I don't think, is going to get them anywhere where they actually want to be.
Notre Dame's offense is having like an identity crisis. Like, Audric Estime is supposed to be your big power back. We're running the football. Joe Alt came out before the season and said, we want to steal the Joe Moore Award away from Michigan. Like it's our turn now to be the best offensive line in college. You run the ball 28 times for 44 yards, and Audric Estime touches the ball 10 times. So where's your identity? You want to be this big power football team, and then you only manage 1.6 yards a carry. That's not
Big Ten football.
That's not Big Ten football. And Sam Hartman does not like playing in Louisville. Over the last 2 combined games, last year when he was at Wake and then this year at Notre Dame, he has thrown 6 interceptions and has lost 2 fumbles on the year. Or in those 2 games against Louisville. So
I actually had this game on for 10 minutes. And
okay.
within that 10-minute span, I saw Sam Hartman throw an interception, Louisville take it down, score. And I was like, okay, no big deal. Sam Hartman will bounce back. His very next pass, right to the middle linebacker. I was like, okay, this is done. And I just turned it off. I was like,
I don't know. And again, where is the power running game with Audric Estime? Like, if you're going to go down to Louisville, go down running Audric Estime 35 times a game. Like, go down behind your identity, and that's the thing. They just don't have an identity, and that's especially offensively, I should say, and that's a scary thing for a college football team not to have in Week 6. Or Week 7 in their case, because they played Week 0.
Cool. Kansas. I don't know what you want me to say. That was good. I wasn't gonna have anything to say to that. I think what we saw was Notre Dame being phony. So cool. Kansas. You have
right.
on here Kansas. WTF do we have on here Kansas? They're doing a good job. Congratulations.
I literally just want us not to lose track of Kansas. That's it.
They're tracked. We can move on now.
I think that they're a lot better than that blowout that they lost to Texas. That was quite the game into the third quarter before things kind of took a turn on them. And if they get together, now Jason Bean's going to be the start of the rest of the season. They might have a little something to say at the end. And they got to play Oklahoma yet.
By Oklahoma.
Dude, I'm not thinking so, but we're about to find out.
Micaiah, you have on here Alabama becomes the state of Florida. I'm guessing this is because of one of my most iconic things ever, that the state of Florida is undisciplined.
Yeah.
How many sprints do you think they had to do this week?
Oh, is there a number? Is there a actual number, tangible number that you can say?
There's no way that he did not start yelling at the kids again after this week. From what I'm remembering, I don't know what
Miss Terry was very happy because there was a bunch of yelling, yes, in practice. 14 penalties for 99 yards. Robert, did you watch this game?
I caught the end of it.
So this game should have.
Yeah.
So this game should have been over in the fourth quarter, like early fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like they had a pick six that was called back because Dallas Turner just pushed a guy in the back, just 7 yards behind the play, and that would have ended the game right then and there, beginning fourth quarter. But instead, these penalties just allowed A&M to hang around. A&M had 306 total yards, 67 yards on the ground, and 239 yards passing. I mean, Alabama had 321 and only 23 yards rushing, so Alabama needs to find their running identity. But, like, A&M couldn't do anything against that Bama defense, and it was just a game until the painful bitter end.
I wonder if it's just a lot of lack of leadership. Like, lack of senior leadership, like, hey, we've been here before, let's put this to rest and go home. And it's just, they're just maybe not there, like, mentally.
Well, do you think that it's the outside noise of what had been at the quarterback and wide receiver position that it's just weighing on these kids?
Well, I think these kids finally have pressure. You know, when you're winning, it's one thing, but you lose that early one to a team that, you know, exposed you, and you're struggling, and, you know, you have, it's like probably the greatest coach in college football history. Like, all the media's on you on why isn't Alabama, you know, you haven't won the SEC in 2 years. You haven't won a national championship in 2 years. You haven't been to the playoffs in 2 years. Like,
it is.
That's uncharted territory.
I can't disagree with that. Let me ask a follow-up question. So Alabama playing Arkansas. They're in Bryant-Denny this weekend. Spread's 19.5. They covering against Arkansas.
I think they'll cover it because Arkansas is not good. That's a team that's lost their way too.
I understand that Jalen Milroe's getting better and better. When he throws a deep ball, I just every time he throws the ball, I'm like, oh, that's just a 50-50 ball. He's just throwing it. He doesn't know if that's going to be complete or not.
Yeah, it's a hope and a prayer throw.
Oh yeah.
It's Aaron Rodgers throwing a Hail Mary.
Yeah,
they're down there somewhere.
Yeah. But with a less percentage of success rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Quick question before we go to your top 10, Micaiah. The over-under for the Georgia-Vanderbilt game,
Here we
12
go.
p.m. CBS, is 55.5.
Okay.
That's a hard over, right? You're smashing that over, right? Because when Georgia hasn't played a defense, I have this up here. When Georgia hasn't played a defense, they did 51 against apparently a defense. I don't think so. I think they were just cardboard cutouts at Kentucky last week. When they haven't played a defense in USB and Ball State, they've scored 45 and 49 respectively. So they can get to 50 on their own, let alone maybe a garbage tutty here or there from Vanderbilt. Even if they have their third string in, at the start of the third quarter, you'd think that probably, right?
I mean, Vanderbilt's gonna Georgia should walk away with 45 easy. So, and what is it? 54?
55.5.
So that's the thing. Is Vanderbilt good enough against a Georgia defense that's starting to find its footing to score 11 points?
I wouldn't be surprised if this game is like a 45-0 blowout and Georgia takes the foot off the brakes in the fourth quarter and has the scrubs in.
Yep.
And it's just
because
the clock just runs out. They're running the ball.
Because they're not trying to send a message on Saturday. They sent a message last week. So this game also wouldn't surprise me if this was a 34-14 game.
Yeah.
So you guys are taking the under on this one.
I'd probably shoot for the under.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I like, for being how low it is, I like, this is why you guys are the smart one and I'm the dumb one. Alabama, Arkansas. Alabama's favored by 19.5 points against Arkansas, who, per usual, fell off the bandwagon real fast after looking good. Over-under's 46.5.
For who again? I'm sorry.
Alabama, Arkansas. I don't know if these are your guys' picks, by the way. I'm sorry if they are.
No, they're not. They're not mine. 46.5. Yeah, I saw that and I didn't want to touch it.
That's low. Do you want to touch Temple, North Texas at 69.5?
Under. I'd go under.
I got burned by North Texas last week. Don't even remind me.
To answer your question, I'll probably go under with Alabama, Arkansas. Old Miss and Arkansas only did 47 last week, and Alabama's defense is a lot better than Old Miss's.
So the thing with Alabama is they're in a position now where every single win has to be a big, convincing win. So they have to put up as many points as possible, as quick as possible. So it wouldn't surprise me if they go over.
I understand that, but I don't think, again, Jalen Milrose, winging a prayer, just throwing things up. I just don't think he's good enough against a decent Arkansas team. I mean, they've played every team they've played within one possession. I don't think he's good enough to score 27-plus points or whatever they would need to.
But every team, I mean, they lost to Texas A&M by 12.
Yeah, but Devon A-Chain had that's his name. Anais Smith had a punt return for a touchdown, and they had a pick six in there.
About 2 years ago?
Devon
How did
A-Chain?
we get here? Devon A-Chain played for Texas A&M last year.
Yeah,
and the year before that.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Anais Smith. I said the wrong name. I corrected myself.
I'm just making sure we weren't talking. I looked down for pick my picks, and I came back up, and you guys were talking about something that did not matter. This is what happens when I let the two nerds talk.
Yeah, well, this is what happens when the host doesn't do his job.
Dear Lord, you guys. Micaiah, put me out of my misery. Can you please just give me your top 10?
Okay, and then are we going to do a preview? Like, do you have a plan after my top 10?
Yes, I have a fucking plan after.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't have a plan. He's just coming up with it
it's
now.
in
All right.
my head.
All right.
Sorry, man.
So here we go. My top 10, and I'm sure everyone will have a problem with this. Please go DM us at 4th&1 Podcast on Instagram.
Or comment down below.
Sure. Do either. But here we go. I am keeping Florida State at number 1 only because they haven't done anything to lose that ranking. Georgia has done something to drop them, but I just bumped Georgia from 1 to 3 last week, so that's really the only reason. It's a cop-out reason. Oregon I have at number 3. Washington I have at 4. That's going to get figured out this weekend, so somebody make sure we talk about that game. Put that in your head. Texas I have only falling to 5, mostly because the only reason they lost the Red River rivalry to Oklahoma is the 3 turnovers by Quinn Ewers. They don't turn the ball over, they probably win that game. Michigan, this is the first week I have them jumping Penn State. Back-to-back complete games. J.J. McCarthy looking comfortable, not turning the ball over. Corum the last 3 games of his year are going to be let's go win a Heisman because he's going to carry the ball 30-plus times and run for 200 yards each game. Or they're going to attempt to. Penn State, Ohio State doesn't have a running game there. Oklahoma I have entering the chat at number 9 because they were impressive against a Texas team. And then Alabama, I threw them in there because their defense is good. And Jalen Milroe has said enough prayers to complete most of his passes. Well, who else would you have at 10? Who else would you put at 10? I'm not putting USC and their lack of defense.
Well, we already have disagreed. Was not writing any of that down.
Yeah,
because I was actually prepping for the next segment. But we've already established that I don't agree with your top 10, so we're just going to leave it at that. Robert looks like he was taking notes. Is that correct?
No, I was looking at the most expensive and cheapest tickets for this week.
He's the man.
Yeah.
He is ready to go.
So what I'm hearing is no one cares about my top 10.
It's wrong. They're bad. It's the worst segment
How
we
is it
do on this
bad?
podcast.
I only need top
it's
4.
wrong. It's bad. I walked in and I said, "Wow, how bad is this top 10?"
All right, well,
It fell
fine,
apart
Robert.
there.
My top 4 would be Florida State, Georgia, Oklahoma, and Washington.
I don't hate that. That part I don't hate.
I
Then
just
what
think
part-
it's Oregon, but
You just think,
Well,
what
we'll
is Oregon?
get there
They're
when we
both
get
here.
there. All right,
We're
our
about to
two
figure so
favorite
much stuff out.
segments of the
I know.
podcast. I'm cutting them off because we're just
Excited.
done. Our two favorite segments of the podcast are one, which would you rather, and ticket price.
Okay.
So we have Tuesday night college football. Quick turnaround. We have one game on at 7, 2 on at 7:30. La Tech, Middle Tennessee, Liberty, Jacksonville State, Coastal Carolina, Appalachian State. Now, that's the best game on tonight. I think we'd all agree with that one. So, my question is, would you rather watch Liberty at, I'll be nice and make it Liberty at Jacksonville State, or crawl all the way to 9:45? We'll make it a 9:45 game and watch Boise State at Colorado State.
When is
Saturday.
On Saturday, Boise State at Colorado State.
oh no way, Liberty, Jacksonville State. That's going to be a game.
Get the
We
food
fight-
out of here!
5-0 versus 5-1,
Stop it!
And that's
and
a
you
good
want to watch
FCS team.
Colorado State.
Yeah, and Boise State.
You
That's
want to
right.
watch
Yeah.
Colorado
FS1.
State.
Yeah. Well, I ain't watching Liberty. I ain't watching the Christians in Virginia.
You know, I'm surprised they're still a team. I was expecting them to fall apart when Hugh Freeze left.
Okay, granted, I didn't know that they were. It was 5-0 and 5-1. I will take that L. And Jacksonville State, the Gamecocks, got to change that name. South Carolina already claimed it, so figure that ish out for me real quick. No, I'll change my answer. Liberty and Jacksonville State because it is 5-0 and 5-1.
I don't think they
Okay.
can make a bowl game yet either.
I don't think so because this is their first year. They can't.
Because them
It's the dumbest
So
rule
and
Liberty?
ever.
Jackson State. No, Jacksonville State.
Oh, I thought they were still FCS. Are they FBS?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
They're
in
FBS.
Conference USA.
Yeah.
So this
Oh,
is
I
actually
didn't
the
know
game
they
for the top of
transferred.
the conference too.
Yes, it is, but it doesn't really matter because Jackson.
Not really,
because
yeah.
The NCAA just sucks. And
JMU's still
JMU's
aren't they?
undefeated, still can't make it. Oh my gosh, this is the dumbest thing in the history of
So
the world.
JMU and Jacksonville State are having really good seasons coming out of FCS, and the only one who I thought would be pretty good, Sam Houston State, is like awful.
They're 0-5. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not even remotely good.
I think the funny thing is it's not like JMU and Jacksonville State are playing crappy teams, either.
No, they're
No,
playing
they're
Especially
playing good
JMU.
teams.
good
Yeah.
teams in their conference. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't. Oh, they didn't. I almost said I don't remember who they won in their bowl game, and then I remembered the NCAA is dumb. Because they're dumb. I had okay. Out of the two games tonight, I'm assuming you guys, with the nerds, you are going to have one, if not all three of these on at some point.
Maybe we'll see what time wifey gets home from clinical.
That's fair. Would you rather watch Liberty, Jacksonville State, or Middle Tennessee, La Tech? Actually, changing that tomorrow, Speaking of Sam Houston State, they are taking on New Mexico State, or Sam Houston now, at 9 p.m. on the CBS Sports Network. Or would you rather watch we'll do the winner, the 7:30 Liberty Jacksonville State game?
Oh, that's easy. Still Liberty Jacksonville
Oh,
State.
yeah.
Okay, here's another follow-up for you. Thursday, Big 12 football. West Virginia at Houston, 7 p.m. FS1.
Yeah.
Friday. Okay, we're now on the Friday.
Yep.
10 p.m. Stanford at Colorado.
Listen, West Virginia is 5-1. Okay, so we're all talking about the Big 12. West Virginia only has one loss, and it's to Penn State at home. Penn State was at home at night, which we talked about. I'll just answer the question. I'm actually going to go West Virginia and Houston.
Yeah, West Virginia should be the better game.
There's a part of me that wants to watch that 7 p.m. game on Friday more than either of these. Tulane, Memphis.
Stanford might have a little something for. I mean, their defense is horrible. I don't know what. The over-under's 59 of this.
Yeah, because Colorado's just going to run away with the game. I don't think they'll put 59, but...
Oh, sorry, Simeon. I thought you were playing a clip. It's Dion talking in my ear, so I thought you were playing a clip. So I was that's why I got real silent. I was like, ooh, what's he playing? Is he going to play? Okay, listen.
Killing me, Smalls.
Colorado can't stop the run, and that's what Stanford likes to do. They're both giving up over 450 yards defensively. The over-under is only 59.
The only reason that Colorado would lose this game is by the fact that Colorado has been exposed as kind of frauds, for lack of a better term.
Hammering that over.
We all knew already. They are the over/under on was 3.5. Colorado has made the over. I won $4 from FanDuel. I would like to thank you very much.
Go! I also won $5, so. Go team.
Good job. Robert, give us the stats on those ticket prices, bro.
Well, the cheapest one, West Virginia, Houston. Surprisingly.
That is
probably because it's $2.
What?
Yeah.
We're flying to Houston, boys.
Right. Most expensive kind of surprised me. Because it's not the game I thought it was going to be. So just in case you're wondering, Oregon and Washington is $148.
Okay, yeah. I'd expect that. I'd actually expect a little more, but okay.
Yeah. The most expensive is Texas A&M and Tennessee at $176.
Well, I don't think that shocks a lot of people because this is the Jimbo Fire game. So people want to tune into Jimbo Fisher's last game at Texas A&M.
I think that's accurate. And it's only $1 more expensive than going and watching USC Notre Dame. But out of all three of those games, I'd want to watch Oregon, Washington for sure.
Stanford, Colorado's ticket prices have come down significantly.
What?
Only $123.
All right.
I think it's because they lose the big games, but...
Oh, for sure it is. I mean, they're out of all...
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and look at this weekend. Looking forward to this weekend. No ranked games. 12 o'clock matchup. Obviously, we have Florida State, Syracuse. Syracuse can do something maybe. Ohio State at Purdue. Never. Michigan, Indiana. Mackay and Robert would say Indiana's going to upset Michigan here.
No, I really don't think so.
You guys aren't being a pessimist for once?
No. Indiana's offense is so bad.
If we were playing at Indiana and they were wearing their candy stripe, then I would be a lot more worried.
It'd be a game for a quarter.
Wait, you're telling me a specific uniform and or color makes changes to a team?
Dude, man, he's got a whole bunch of theories.
When you play against Indiana, yes.
When you play against Indiana, nothing bad happens.
Not when you go
Indiana.
to the sold-out second largest stadium, third largest stadium in the world.
We don't count North Korea.
Screaming.
We don't count North Korea.
We don't count North Korea. That is the third because there's a stupid cricket stadium now in England.
Yeah, that just got built, so that puts
in
Michigan second.
In Indiana. India. Oh, my gosh.
Whoa!
Dear Lord.
Who knew?
That's pretty racist, but
Hey, Penn State taking on UMass, Big Ten Network, 3:30 p.m. Big noon kickoff, obviously, is that stupid big noon kickoff, Michigan, Indiana. Stop making fetch work. It's not going to happen. Ranked game, 3:30 p.m. I kind of wanted to come back
Good
to this,
quote.
but we're going to do it anyway. Oregon, Washington, -2.5. Little teaser here for you. It was one of my picks. I didn't realize that when I said it. Taking Washington -2.5. I just think they're going to be a more all-around team. We'll see if they can bounce back.
All right. Well, now that Simeon's ruining the pick section, this game is also in one of my picks. However, this seems like maybe a coming out party for both defenses. Like all the talk is going to be Michael Penix and Bo Nix and these offenses and how they score and et cetera. And these defenses, that's all they're hearing about, offenses and offenses. It would not surprise me if this is not as high scoring of a game as people think. What you got?
Over under
Roberto?
67.
I just want to know who you think's going to win.
Winner. I'm gonna go Washington at home. I'm going Washington at home.
I just like Oregon. I think Oregon's going to outrace them. Close game, but I think Oregon outraces them.
Okay, all right.
Races them.
And then they could meet again in the Pac-12 championship, and it just flips the other way. Like this is Texas Oklahoma all over again to me.
So,
here we go.
if this is Washington's only loss,
Yeah.
and Oregon and Washington meet up in the SEC or in the Pac-12 championship, Washington wins. Do you put both of them in the playoff?
You might have to. There might be two teams from each conference fighting for one spot. Absolutely. Like there could be Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, two of those teams, Texas, Oklahoma, Washington and Oregon.
I don't mean to be rude, but like we forgot about Utah.
Okay, you forgot about Utah.
We didn't talk about them today, therefore we didn't forget
well,
about them.
until Cam Rising comes back and Utah can score more than 27 points per game, I can't talk about them. They have a good defense, but if they can't throw the football. Like they should have lost to UCLA. UCLA should be undefeated, but that defense is incredible. And they have no offense, no quarterback to pull the trigger right now.
Happens to the best of us. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. JMU plays Georgia Southern. Just keep your eye on that game. That's going to be a fun game. ESPN 2, 12 p.m. Do we want to talk about the Dabo getting fired game or no? Because technically
mean
it's an
Jimbo?
unranked game. Jimbo, sorry, not Dabo. Dabo will not get fired.
Again, this is one of my pick sections, but I just don't see how that power T at home against an SEC foe doesn't get this done.
Robert?
Sorry, I was reading Washington is suing the Pac-12. Sorry.
For what?
They're suing the commissioner, George Kalivkov or whatever, for everyone like leaving and stuff like that. But I guess like Arizona State, Colorado, Oregon, UCLA, Cal, USC, Utah, Stanford, and Washington are all joining together. They're suing. It has to be just because of like they're trying to charge them.
Exit fees.
Yeah, or something like that. I'm not like the whole way through, but
Okay.
what was the question?
Who wins
Sorry.
A&M Tennessee? And why?
Tennessee.
Why?
Why? Because it's Texas A&M, and they're going to find a way to lose.
There it
It's
is.
also in Neyland Stadium or Neyland, however
Neyland.
you pronounce that. Kansas, speaking of, we talked about them a little bit earlier, taking on Oklahoma State, an underwhelming Oklahoma State team, 3:30 p.m. in Stillwater.
Simeon, this was your big-time win yesterday, or last week. Oklahoma State was your lone win last week.
It was my lone win.
They played a good, I don't even know who they played
And
at home.
they covered.
Yeah, they were plus 11.5, and they won outright. Again, Oklahoma State just has a team that people
They
forget
reverse
about.
covered.
And they're 1-1 in the conference, only 2 losses. Their defense has only given up 370 yards a game. Going to be a closer game than I think people think, but I think Kansas has a little bit more of an identity with Jason Bean than they do. So I
think
like
Kansas. I think Kansas is going to win this game. I just find Oklahoma's 2 losses hilarious. It was to University of South Alabama and Iowa State. They beat everyone else, including Kansas State,
That's
which is a game they could have lost. They beat them by 8 points, and Arizona State. So they really flip-flopped those wins and losses this year.
Yeah, beat the good teams, lose to the bad ones, you know. I love it when a plan comes together.
It happens to the best of us.
Is that your catchphrase today?
What, it happens to the best of us?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you
Okay.
think of this LSU-Auburn game? Do you think LSU is actually going to be able to win?
Yeah, Auburn doesn't have a quarterback who can throw the football. Auburn has 0 quarterback who can throw the football, so you have to have a quarterback to throw the football for LSU's defense to be bad against, and so, I mean, it'll be closer, maybe a quarter and a half.
Yeah,
All right, let's
Auburn's offense doesn't have enough to keep with LSU.
Their passing game leader is Peyton Thorne, and on the year he's thrown for 643 yards, 4 touchdowns,
Yikes.
4
Okay.
interceptions. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, point proven.
Yeah.
Point proven. This is really just 2 guys teach a other dude about college football.
That's what we've been trying to do all this time.
7:30 NBC and Peacock in Notre Dame Stadium. It's
was
USC
good.
at
Thank you.
Notre Dame, number 10. How big of a blowout is this going to be?
I don't think it is. I think it's going to be who's going to have the ball last. Because whoever has the ball last is probably going to score the game-winning touchdown because neither defense is going to be able to stop whoever.
I think the actual question is Sam Hartman going to show up again?
Well, I don't think he has to. USC's defense is so bad, you just have to throw it to someone with a pulse that's wearing your jersey color, and it's a gain. It's going to be a missed tackle and a first down. USC's defensive line does not stop the run very well. They are, on the season, they are allowing 157 yards rushing. So can they pound Audric Estime 40-some times a game and let him run for 250 yards? That's what I would do. Oh, my goodness. And then it's playing in my ear again. Simeon, it did it to me again.
I was wondering, like, that was an abrupt stop.
Yeah, and then, dude, I can't.
Gotta
And
mute
then
that tab, yo.
Notre Dame's defense isn't bad, but Caleb Williams is just that good that he's going to score 35-plus points on Notre Dame. So
The 35-7 is still a blowout.
So the line is Notre Dame -3. Robert, you messing with that line or not? Or is this in your picks later?
It is, but
Okay,
not
alright.
the plus or minus.
Okay, all right. So it's the over-under, so I'll be excited to hear what you say, because that was going to be my follow-up question. Okay, so then who wins the game?
I think USC still wins the game. I trust Caleb Williams more than I do Sam Hartman and Estime. And I think it's just because Brian Kelly can't win. Not Brian Kelly. He's in LSU now. It's
Marcus
like the same
Marcus
thing.
Freeman.
Yeah,
Marcus
it is
Freeman.
the same thing. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the same. It's the same scenario.
Yeah.
Notre Dame always has so much hype coming into these seasons. They're like Miami, and it's the name Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Going to be great this year. Oh, lost one to a better team. Okay, next time they lose to, and it's
That
like,
one's gonna
what
hurt.
is with this team?
I'm going to take Notre Dame because USC's lack of defense has got to catch up with them eventually, and Notre Dame has the better defense. Everyone knows this. So I am taking that USC's lack of defense and Notre Dame's semblance of a defense gets this done. So I'm going to say I like Notre Dame.
I don't know how I forgot about North Carolina. And they're taking on a team that I just realized the ranking committee made them ranked so that this could be a ranked matchup. It's the ABC game in Chapel Hill, number 25, Forget How to Kneel.
Nice. Well done.
There's a blowjob joke in there somewhere. At number 12,
there
North
it
Carolina.
North Carolina's defense, not as bad as in previous years. Only given up 335 yards a game. They've played Syracuse, who can move the ball. They gave up some yardage to Pitt. Minnesota doesn't have an offense. Appalachian State did put up some points and almost beat them in double overtime. But I like North Carolina to pull this off, especially at home, and especially after last week. Close game, but I think North Carolina wins.
Yeah. North Carolina's going to run away with this one. Drake May just takes a hold of it and runs. Miami's just demoralized at this point. Like, you can't... To have them still ranked as 25, like, get out of here.
Also, their strength of schedules aren't even comparable. North Carolina's played the toughest schedule. They've played Syracuse, Pitt, Minnesota, Appalachian State, and South Carolina. Miami's played Miami of Ohio, Texas A&M, Bethune, Cook, Temple, and Georgia Tech. And they lost to Georgia Tech.
So you mean that Miami's overranked again?
Dude, I'm on your side with this.
I know, I'm just saying.
I 100% agree. I'm on your side with this. Yes, Miami, just get off their big schlong.
Did the ACC go away with the divisions this year?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, moving forward.
I do not remember talking. I'm sure we did. I do not remember talking about that. Okay.
I may have forgotten.
Yeah, it's very interesting that Florida State, Louisville, and North Carolina are at the top.
It's gonna be a fun second half of the season, boys. Fun second half of the season.
Do you want to talk about the last ranked game on Fox?
It's UCLA, Oregon State, right?
Yeah.
I will again.
Hey, how's that Oregon State looking? There, Micaiah.
They're right on track. 10-2. They only got one loss. Calm down. I'm still not wrong. I got 2 more losses they can do. Or I got 1 more loss they can still do. UCLA plays big boy football. So does Oregon State, and Oregon State's at home. Taking Oregon State.
It's probably going to be cold
Yep.
there.
I love it.
Oregon.
I wish I could be there.
I'm going with the chainsaw. Give me the
Yeah.
chainsaw all night.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you'll watch this game, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, Kentucky, Missouri might actually be a pretty decent game to watch, but UCLA, Oregon State's probably going to be the better one.
I was going to say Duke, NC State would probably be... if I have to pick between Kentucky, Missouri, and Duke, NC State, I'd probably pick Duke, NC State.
I think...
Is Duke's quarterback yet?
No, I don't think Leonard's going to play. And I also think that...
Oh, I forgot he was out.
Kentucky, Missouri, I don't know what the over-under is on this. It's 52. Hammer that over.
That's
Missouri doesn't have defense and offense,
Hey,
and Kentucky is much
guys,
the same.
I just want to let you guys know, I think this is pretty important that I let you know. There are 2 unranked teams in the FCS.
Okay.
One very, very unsurprising, South Dakota State. They're ranked number 1.
Okay.
But of all the teams, number 18, Harvard at 4-0.
Let's go Harvard. There you go. Little smart kid,
my-
push up them glasses.
We might get it. I'm guessing
Let's
most of
go.
these people's losses, like Delaware's losses to Penn State. So, like, basically all these teams are undefeated. But, like, at the same time, we've seen JMU and we've seen Jacksonville State climb and be able to handle bigger and badder competition. And here we are. And speaking about being places, and here we are.
Here we go.
Again, as a poor transition, it's at least the podcast favorite time of the year or of the week. It's picks time.
Yeah!
I'm very excited after going 1-2. So I'm still your bet daddy. We're gonna go over 11-7 is my record. Micaiah is 8-10. Robert is 7-10-1. But we really should be talking about, if you're not following it, Instagram at 4th&1 podcast. It is my sister-in-law, Micaiah's wife, Carrie Schlicker,
go!
who's 18-8 on the season.
Yeah. So, everyone, the word fourth, the word and, the word one, the word podcast, go follow us on Instagram. Every Thursday, her picks come out, and she's money right now, ladies and gentlemen. She's never been below 500. She went 7-0 week 1. Then she had 2 bad, in quotation, weeks of 3-3, and then she went 5-2 last year. She's scalding hot.
Week.
So she might be our bet mommy? Question mark?
Yeah, I was gonna say it, but I wasn't sure.
That was weird.
You
so
can
I'll
say it because you're married to her.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
We're on the same page.
She's
there.
the bet mommy.
She's the bet mommy.
She's our soccer
And
mom. She'll make sure we have snacks.
She will make sure we have snack. Obviously, I already picked Washington -2.5. I gave you guys a little bit of a glimpse there. I just think that Micaiah, quarterback for Washington.
Michael Penix.
Michael Penix is better than Bo Nix, just in general. Haven't seen a lot of game film besides a little bit of Bo Nix. I'm just going to take them. It was originally... Did I take them outright? I forget. I think I originally took them outright, and... Yeah. I've just decided to make it -2.5, or with someone else. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Robert, go.
Georgia over Vandy, -31. I think that's almost like a no-brainer.
Okay, so Georgia -31. I am going to go. I've decided that I have not been wrong about Texas A&M this year. I predicted their start almost perfectly, and so why go away from that well? I thought to myself last week amid this losing streak that I'm on, Micaiah, just go with what you've told the people already. And that would be that Jimbo gets fired because he loses to Alabama at home, and then he goes on the road to Tennessee, and he's losing that game. So, you take Tennessee minus no points. Just take the money line. I'm betting the money line. Tennessee's going to win this game. Jimbo's getting fired in their bye week. It is decided.
It is decided. Apparently one of my bets didn't save, and I don't remember it because that's how good I am. But the one that did save, Fresno State at Utah State. For Robert, this is my over-under. I know nothing besides the fact that Fresno State was undefeated up until last week. They are no longer undefeated. Over-under is 57.5. I'm taking the under. 25 plus 25 only equals 50. So I don't think both of these teams are very similar, is my understanding. I don't think it's going to be a track meet.
My over-under for this week, Notre Dame USC. It's either going to be super low or it's going to be super high, and I'm praying for the super high, so we're going over 63.5.
Let's
You're going
go.
over at 63. Dear Lord.
I got no faith in either defense, all the faith in the offenses,
Yeah, let's go.
so we're going to roll.
Let's roll all the way to the bank. Well, Robert, I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going Washington, Oregon. The over-under 67.5, and all these defenses are hearing all week. First of all, 67.5 is a huge number, and all the defenses are hearing are how good Bo Nix is, and how good Zaire Franklin is, and how good Michael Penix and those wide receivers are. And it's going to be a hard-fought 31-27 type game. So give me the under 67.5 Oregon-Washington.
I'm looking very carefully. I picked them. They missed. Really, it was actually the UMass Minutemen that screwed me up. So Don Brown done it again. I'm gonna go back to the well.
Yeah, here we go. Go back to
I
it.
think it's dumb. but it's kind of right in my face, and I'm going with my gut. Over 43.5. Because I saw it. Yes, I'm doing 2 overs. Navy at Charlotte. Clearly, Charlotte is happy to have a football team back, besides, obviously, the Panthers, but, whatever. College football team in their backyard because $63 is the lowest ticket there.
Ain't
so
bad.
people are showing up.
Yeah, people are showing up for the midshipmen.
Charlotte's been dumb inconsistent over the year so far, but they can at least score sometimes. And they've also had a ghastly bad schedule for like a team that's basically brand new in a big conference. Maryland, Florida, and SMU. Yikes. So, yeah, we'll see. Navy also, who knew Navy beat University of North Texas, UNT, last week. Scoring, they're averaging over 20 points a game. Did anybody see this coming?
Who, Navy?
For Navy? Yeah.
No. Navy was pretty bad, especially with how they looked against Notre Dame. But
that's
was
everyone's
fake.
picks, right?
No, we still have our third pick to do. Us two.
Oh, I started. Yes, this is our third pick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I wanted to talk about Air Force still being 5-0 and playing a 5-1 Wyoming Cowboys.
Let's go! Let's go! Air Force and Wyoming. That's actually really impressive. Not on my bingo card.
7 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. That sucks.
Yeah, but guess who might be tuning in for a little bit of that game in Laramie? Is it in Laramie, Wyoming?
No, it's in Fort Collins.
Okay, well then, who's tuning in to Fort Collins, wherever?
Oh
Fort
no, I'm
Collins
sorry.
is?
Colorado Springs? I don't know. Is that where Air Force
Where's
is?
the
I'm
Air
trying
Force
to pull it up
base?
for you.
Where's the Air Force Academy?
I thought it was Colorado Springs.
No, I thought they're in San Diego.
What?
Nope.
No, that's where the Navy
No?
SEALs train. That's where the Navy SEALs train.
That's Coronado that you're thinking of there, bud.
Or maybe it is Colorado.
The Navy used to be stationed there. Oh my
Okay,
gosh,
well
it's
look
a
up
7
where the Air
It's
Force
a 7
Academy
p.m.
is.
game. It's right. It's at Air Force. It has its own address, of course. USAF Academy, Colorado. I kid you not.
Let's. What are the Air Force? What are they? The Air Force.
They're the
Falcons.
Falcons.
You got the midshipmen and the cadets for Army Navy. That makes sense. But then, let's be Falcons.
Micaiah, they've always been cooler. I don't think we
Actually, Army's the Black Knights.
can. What the hell? Okay, well, you know what? Go Navy, beat Army because Navy has Navy has the only team name that makes sense. Robert, pick your third.
I'm going with the Michigan and Indiana, so I'm going to go Indiana plus 33.5. Michigan's
Wow.
covered for the past 2 weeks, which means we are due for them not to cover.
Oh, you're playing that logic, huh?
Is this a minus 33 or plus 33.5? Is this a Michigan still wins by 31?
Oh, yeah. It's one of those Michigan's up like 39-0 or whatever, and then they just get a cheap touchdown at the end, and it just screws the shutout. And
Okay. All right. Well, finally, I'm gonna touch base. I'm gonna go back to the ranked on
It
ranked.
is Colorado Springs, by the way.
All right. Way to be whoever said Colorado Springs.
Me.
I'm going back to the ranked on rank matchup. I'm going to Chapel Hill in Miami, USC. Both of these offenses average over 500 yards a game. UNC's defense is better, but I still don't believe in it. Miami's defense has not seen an offense that can actually put 2 and 2 together to make 4, and they will run into that with Drake May and Tez Walker now, who the NCAA finally deemed him eligible, so that's good. The over of 56.5, I love and will be hammering on Saturday.
Okay.
I'm
That
the only
sounds
one
good.
who brought the passion to this. Like, Simeon's like, Mom, it's fun.
I'm very tired today,
I was
okay?
pretty passionate with
Hey,
Notre Dame
you know what?
USC.
You know, I
Rob,
take that
you
back.
and Robert
Me
brought it
Robert
today.
We're just
Yeah.
bringing it today.
You guys brought it today. No one can disagree, except for the fact that you're both wrong about Penn State's whiteout. And we're going to leave it at that.
Can't even
Yep.
argue about that.
Can't even argue about it because we're over time. Guys, it's been the 4th and 1 podcast. Yeah, no. We'll see you next week.
Wash your hands, you filthy animals.